Hello, this is Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm going to review How to Train Your Dragon 2. Just kidding, I'm not going to be doing that voice, but this is How to Train Your Dragon 2. And if you didn't see the first video, well, you don't really have to, but hey, get some context, watch my first video on the movie franchise, alright? I don't know why you haven't watched that by yet. But anyway, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a movie that a lot of people really like, and I think it's good, but it has a lot of flaws. Some people say it's a masterpiece, without really giving them too much detail, but I'm going to detail why it's good, and some of the flaws. So, the time has passed since the original movie, and the second one, of course, because time has passed in our life, 4 years, so the characters are a little older and more mature. I like when movies do that, especially in anime movies. It makes the characters feel like they're progressing with them. Unlike certain anime movies where nothing happens, 10 years have passed. 2034! But yeah, also Hiccup can fly now.
They fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
Can you fly?
Fly home, buddy.
So why is he flying? Well, he wants to discover new lands. That's why he flies now. Well, he likes to vet his shit, as we probably established in the first movie. And he's avoiding his responsibilities to, I guess, his town, because I'd rather fly, Dad. But there are some dragon snatchers who snatch dragons. And they want dragons for this guy named Drago Bloodfist, or whatever the hell his name is. Here's what he looks like in low-res image form. His name is Drago Bloodfist, and he is one of the most overhyped villains of all time. Hiccup's like, I can change this guy because I changed my dad. And he's like, no you can't, he's a fucking jackass. Well, I'll try. Spoiler alert, this guy can't be changed because he's a generic evil villain. See, Hiccup's dad, Stoke, is really scared because this guy is scary. He killed a bunch of Vikings one time just to prove that he could. So he's like, everybody, lock down the villain. He's like, I'm actually going to go out and find this fucker. He's like, no. He's like, well, fuck you, Dad, I'm going. So Hiccup's like, capture me, I want to see Drago, I want to be his slave. But unfortunately for Hiccup, his stupid friends, who are incredibly annoying and I don't think anybody likes, try to save them. But the dumb girl likes the one guy because he's got big muscles. It's not funny. Also, what kind of face is this? You know what? This could be my thumbnail. So because the comic relief are stupid, she gets captured by a net. Not that it's important, but that's real. Also, Hiccup meets his mom, who ditched his family millions of years ago, I guess. They don't really bring that out, the fact that she ditched. Everyone's just happy. Like, wow, you love this character. Mom, you ditched me, but I don't care because you're back in my life and you have dragons. I love dragons. So most of the middle of this movie is just dedicated to Hiccup hanging out with his mom and his dad getting introduced to his mom, which is fun. These scenes are fun to watch, but at the same time, they don't add a lot to the main theme of the movie, at least compared to the villain fight scene, which seems to be out of place with this storyline. They don't really connect. There's a buffering symbol there, but I don't really care right now. It's something that I think is really a problem, because the mom character could have better storylines. She ditched them, but they all seem to be fine about it. In fact, she doesn't really have much of a purpose in the end of this movie, and especially in the third movie, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Let's get off this buffering circle. Also, here's more Toothless stuff. I know you people like Toothless, so here you go. He doesn't really do much, other than kill somebody later on, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh yeah, here's Drago. He's like, yeah, fuck you guys, because the dumb comic relief characters decide to try to capture, try to save him or something. They're really dumb, basically. I mean, you saw the one character purposely get caught by a net earlier in the movie. And then Drago's like, hates his one guy, I guess. And he's like, oh, I hate everybody, so I want to burn everything down. And that's his whole... Also, this guy spends most of the time screaming. Yes, this is apparently intimidating to the dragon. I don't really get it. To me, it's really goofy as fuck, and he does it like a couple times in the movie. I think the biggest problem in the movie is this guy right here. Drago Bloodfist. His motivation is incredibly lame. I think he set his dragons to burn down his village for like one sentence, and now he hates everything, and he wants to kill everybody, I guess. But he doesn't like dragons, but he uses dragons, and not like a way for it to make sense to him to hate them, or something like that. I don't even know what to say, but he's like, I hate dragons, but I also hate people, and I want to use dragons to kill people because I hate dragons because of... It doesn't make much sense. I'm going to play the clip later, but I don't understand his motivation to this day. This guy here is like, you know what, I'm going to team up because I don't like working for Drago anymore. I know Drago's an asshole because it doesn't make much sense, but the go-through between being a goon and not being a goon isn't that strong. This character's okay. I don't know his name, though. Like, I should probably look it up, but at the same time, I don't remember them saying it once in the movie, and if they don't say it once, then I'm not going to repeat it once. Of course, there's probably some clip they say it, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, the family reunites, by the way. Isn't that lovely? I hope this doesn't get broken up very... Oh yeah, Drago attacks the other dragon base. There's another dragon base with another giant dragon. It doesn't really matter that much. And the annoying girl likes the fat guy now, or something like that. It's really... So in the comic relief, we got two giant dragons fighting, a bunch of Vikings fighting on top of dragons. It's a pretty cool scene. In the movie, I guess don't have to say much, is really well animated. Though the good dragon dies and the bad dragon wins, and since Drago has control over the big dragon, somehow, I'm not sure how if he doesn't like dragons, he's like, I got control of the alpha dragon, that means that every other dragon must follow it! Which I guess is something that happened in the first movie too, but yeah. So it means that I can finally talk to Drago to put some sense into him! But he has no sense, because he's a fucking generic evil villain. And not in a good way, like Jack Horner, in a bad way.
But even as a boy, left with nothing, vowed to rise above the fear of dragons and liberate the people of this world.
Then why a dragon army?
Well, you need dragons to conquer other dragons.
Or maybe you need dragons to conquer people. To control those who follow you. And to get rid of those who won't.
Clever boy.
So yeah, his backstory is that a dragon, he gets destroyed his home and got rid of his arm, and then he's like, I want to liberate people, but also control them? But why? He seems to have more control over the dragons than the people, and he seems to want to attack the people more than dragons. Like I said, it takes the one alpha dragon to control the dragons, so he's not scared of dragons, but the people didn't damage him, the dragons did. So what's his motivation? I don't get it! So even though I don't know how he has control of an alpha, since he's an asshole, and dragons, especially giant ones, I don't think would respond to that, but whatever. But since he controls the alpha, it means that the alpha control the dragons, so that means that the only cool thing he does is he actually gets Toothless to turn on his former... This is the only thing that he does really interesting with his villainy, basically. It's a great concept, but like I said, motivation isn't good for it. So, like I said, he controlled dragons so easily, so they're not a big threat. Also, his Hiccup's father died right here. Oh, what's this? That's not a real credit scene. They actually did kill him off? Well, shit, I didn't think they'd do that. Even more messed up is the fact that Toothless is the one who did it, and he's not even aware that he did it. That's kind of fucked up. Drag, I'll give you that point. You get 1 point for, like, killing one of the characters in the most fucked up way possible. Oh yeah, they put his corpse on a boat and then shoot an arrow at it to burn it up. That's the funeral. The funeral goes on for a very, very long time. Where Hiccup cries like a bitch, like, I don't think I can be a leader, but I guess I have to, because my dad... And luckily for the power of love, Hiccup can train Toothless to go back on his side. And remember, since Drago's too dumb to know what that means, because I guess he likes violence too much, he doesn't understand that that's something that can... The even more crazier thing is that Toothless actually challenges the big alpha dragon to become the alpha dragon. And yeah, somehow he wins. Because the alpha retracts the whole... So Drago goes down screaming like a little idiot as he gets killed by a bunch of dragons blowing fire at him. I guess he didn't learn his lesson the first time when that happened to him. So Drago dies, and the other Alpha Dragon's like, fuck this shit. And the movie ends with a new status quo. Hiccup has to become the chieftain of his own village because his father died. But since he learns his responsibility and stuff, he can now take over. And now, I'm running Burke. And this is Burke. And even though his dad died, he seems really happy at the end of the movie by when he screams dragons here in a really weird voice.
Dragons!
And that was How to Train Your Dragon 2 from 2014. The weakest link of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. And the main reason falls on Drago Bloodfist. For a character that appears a lot in the movie, he has very little presence, or in fact he screams a lot for no reason. His motivation is pretty weak. Like, when I first saw it, like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But then I rewatch it, like, it makes less and less sense. It's not clear what he hates if he wants to control people. He's not that interesting of a character to even see as just a generic evil villain. Even though there are some dashing things he does do, but because they try to do stuff like try to make a thematic stuff around it, like him trying to convince him not to be evil, but he's so generically evil that he is. They didn't do that, it would have been so bad. But the fact that they're one of the aspects of the movie is the fact that Hiccup's like, I want to train you to be a good person. He's like, fuck that. It's not really good character motivation. and it kind of drags the whole film down. Plus, the comic relief characters who weren't that great in the first movie get amped up to 11 in annoyingness. I didn't focus that much on them because they suck. But yeah, other than that, I think the rest of the movie's good. Some with a lot of pacing issues that is kind of hard to translate because you have to watch the movie yourself to see the pacing problems. But let's just say the whole middle part of the movie feels very slow, and the funeral scene, which it makes sense why it's slow, but still really slow. Like, they grieve over him for a long time, and then the end's like, dragons! I guess he doesn't care. Oh well. How You Train Your Dragon 2 is in the B tier, along with Shrek Forever, Spirit, the Stallion of the Shamarian, and Rise of the Guardians. Films are close to A tier, but not quite, because they have one little thing that holds me back from putting them there. So if you like one of these films I think should be higher, well, hey, leave your response in the comments below. Our last stop on our How to Train Your Dragon 2 journey is the villains ranking. Actually, I forgot to add the dog from Roz and Gromit and the Pied Piper from Shrek Forever After, who are also on this tier list. So they're in D tier, not notable enough to really rank them higher. They're just a very side villain to a main villain, so they're not really worth noting. Drago is the bottom of D tier. I don't know where to rank him because there is some stuff he does that are dashly, but his character and motivation, the fact that all he does is scream, his performance isn't great, his design isn't really that interesting. He just screams a lot, and yeah, I don't really think he's that interesting of a villain. I want to know how he's able to conquer a dragon. Just screams at them, and that's it? Like, the Alpha Dragon too? Is that what... stuff like that makes him kind of a lame villain, at least in my opinion. Especially for something that really should have been a lot better. They should have let this film cook a little more before finalizing it. Luckily, How to Train Your Dragon 3 does not have that same villain problem. It actually has a really good villain, and I can't wait till we get to that. But yeah, next time we're looking at a movie that I actually really like. I think it's underrated, and I can't wait to see you at Penguins of Madagascar. See you then.